In the late 2000s, a visionary named Satoshi Nakamoto created a new kind of money. But he wasn't just creating any kind of money. He was creating a new kind of system, a system that was based on trust in math, not on trust in banks or governments. And this idea changed the world forever. Satoshi's creation was called Bitcoin, and it was the first of its kind. It was a digital currency that didn't rely on a central authority to verify transactions and prevent fraud. But there was a big problem that needed to be solved first. Before we get into how Satoshi solved this problem, let me explain. Normally, when you buy something, you hand over some cash to a seller. The seller trusts you to pay for the item, but you trust the government that issued the currency. In the digital world, it's a little different. When you buy something online, you don't really hand over anything physical. You just say, I'll pay $10, and the transaction is complete. But this raises a question. How do you prevent someone from spending the same $10 twice? How do you prevent fraud? This is known as the double spend problem, and it's a tough one to solve. Most digital currencies at the time relied on a trusted third party to verify transactions and prevent fraud. But Satoshi wanted to create a currency that was truly decentralized. A currency that didn't rely on anyone's trust, but the trust in the math. So, how did he do it? Well, he created something called the blockchain. Think of the blockchain as a public ledger that records all transactions in a chronological order. Each transaction is grouped with others into a block. Once a block is filled, it's added to the chain of previous blocks. And each block is linked together in a way that makes it almost impossible to tamper with. That's because each block is secured by cryptography. If someone tries to change one block, it would change all the blocks that come after it and invalidate all the transactions that rely on them. And because everyone in the network has a copy of the blockchain, it's very difficult for a single person to manipulate it. This is a very simplified explanation of how the blockchain works. There are many technical details that I'm leaving out, but the important thing to understand is that it solves the double spend problem. By using cryptographic proof instead of trust, Satoshi created a system where everyone could verify the entire history of transactions. But that's not all. The system also prevents anyone from controlling the money supply or forging new coins. That's because new bitcoins are generated through a process called mining. Miners are people who use their computers to verify and add new blocks to the blockchain. They're the ones who keep the system running. And because they're using their electricity and hardware to secure the network, they're rewarded with bitcoins. So to recap, the blockchain is a public ledger that records all transactions in a chronological order. Each block is linked together using cryptography, making it very difficult to tamper with. And new bitcoins are generated through a process called mining. But how does any of this relate to us? Why should you care about the blockchain? Well, in the years since Satoshi created Bitcoin, the technology has had a profound impact on our world. And that's just the beginning. Blockchains can be used for so much more than just cryptocurrencies. They can be used to track and trade digital assets like art and collectibles. They can be used to store and manage data. They can even be used to vote and make decisions in a transparent and secure way. As you can see, the applications are endless. And it all started with one man's vision to create a better way to exchange money. Today, Bitcoin is a global phenomenon. It's traded on major exchanges, accepted by major retailers, and has a market cap of over $1 trillion. But despite its success, very few people know who Satoshi Nakamoto really is. When Satoshi first released the code for Bitcoin in 2009, they communicated with other developers through online forums. They were meticulous in their work, always striving for perfection. But as Bitcoin began to gain popularity, Satoshi became more and more elusive. In 2010, they handed over the project's development to other members of the community and then disappeared. They never revealed their identity, and very little is known about them. Some believe that Satoshi is a single person, while others believe that it's a group of people. There are many theories out there, but nothing has been confirmed. Satoshi's anonymity is part of what makes Bitcoin so fascinating. It's a truly decentralized currency controlled by no one. It's a currency that doesn't rely on anyone's trust, but the trust in the math. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for watching and encourage you to share your thoughts on Bitcoin and the blockchain in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.